respected chairperson, speakers on the dais, and dignitaries attending this function. This is a topic regarding the accidental fires and their mitigation. Fire itself is an accident, and when we say it's accidental fire, definitely in the most of the cases it's a man-made. And this includes the accidents that happen in the urban area, industrial and wildlife. Every fire has to be small first. And if we can extinguish that fire, that incipient stage, then many disasters would have not have been experienced. I worked in the fire service in Bhilai steel plant for 25 years and attended many serious fire, investigated many fires. So looking into that, when we see can we prevent any fire? Yes, it is always preventable, because accident fire is a great threat to the human life, property as well as environment. And I cover these aspects. It's a human safety, infrastructure, and the emergency response. What infrastructure we have as a country whole. Fire is a state subject, and every state fire service having the state fire services. So any incident happen, if it is reported, first the fire service respond to that, and if it is beyond control, particularly in case of the forest fire, then NDRF or NDMA come to the picture. But when you say any disaster, fire brigade again is a first responder, and in most of the cases in disaster, fire do happens. So I also touch upon some case studies, some incidences that will just to sensitize you. It is not only we are talking about the disaster, but fire do happens from our home, from our residence, from our office. Fire has not left any place on its record, either it is industry or shopping complex or any function, any institution, everywhere fire has taken place, and statistics shows that every year we lost 65 lives per day in a fire in our country. It's a huge figure. Is it so innocent? Definitely not. This can be so dangerous and can engulf anything, everything into the fire. You cannot make things, though we call it has some fire resistance, but nothing is fireproof. Everything can get engulfed in that. Sometimes the incident happen when even you cannot predict. Recently, the plane accident in Ahmedabad, the death could have been much more less if it would have not caught the fire. And it happened because there was a huge fuel was there. So fire definitely brings the lot of casualties, and our concern in any disaster management or preparedness or mitigation is to save the life mainly and then property. This is the example of the World Trade Center. I had an opportunity to interact with the person who was the member of investigation team of World Trade Center. Both the tower would have been stand today if there was no fire. These are the tallest structure, 110-story building, and designed to take the impact of the wind velocity, because that was a major threat to that building. It was plane impact was very less. It is only 330 ton, whereas the impact of the wind velocity is 1300 ton at the topmost floor. Whenever you construct the high-rise building, say more than 34 or 40 story height, then most of the structure is built with the steel, and steel loses its strength at 600 degrees centigrade. Laden, he was also civil engineer. He selected the portion of the building which is the weakest portion, that is shaft, and the plane hit, and that portion, entire fuel was burned inside the building. He has a second plan also. Both plane hit it on the same place. Entire gasoline burned inside the building, which was not designed for that. It was a commercial functioning was there. So mostly the combustion material was class A material like wood, paper, but even the designer never thought this much quantity of fuel, that is gasoline, can burn inside. So instead of blaming the Laden for the disaster, he was blaming himself for the disaster, where he has not taken the consideration that kind of fire load in any moment of incident. And he could not sleep for 21 days. After that he died. This episode is available on the geographical channel also. So fire can do this kind of damage. It has not left any places. And there is an interface between the forest and the urban area and the industrial area. We have the zoning, but hardly we are maintaining it. Because of that, these incidents happens in Jaipur. It took 11th day to start the firefighting. One by one, tank were burning. And you can just imagine the impact to the damage to the environment and the property loss. So looking into the one by one area, that is urban and the industry and then forest. So what kind of fire do happens? What are the main causes and how we can prevent it? So, and what infrastructure we are having and what is the role as an individual we can play into. When we say the urban fire, it starts from the office, domestic, home fires. Everybody is using the gas, electrical appliances in their house. And it starts from that place. How many of you having the extinguisher in your home? Hardly anybody keep it. Even in the office or a commercial establishment, these are there. But just to maintain or just to comply the norms, hardly the people know its operation. Unless and otherwise you know the operation, it's a basic thing. Unless otherwise you know its operation, it has no meaning to keep those kind of equipment there. If person are not aware or having the experience to operate that equipment, there are fixed firefighting installation as well. So these are there in the urban area as well as the industries. Depending upon the type of hazards, lot of systems are there which operate automatically. Whenever there fire happens, it detects automatically, it extinguishes the fire till the fire brigade arrives. But this facility will not get in the forest fire or wildlife. There we have to do it manually. You should have the force to work there in the forest department, then NDRF, SDRF, local fire service. So these are some common causes: improper storage of flammable material in the residential buildings or the urban areas. Then limited firefighting resources, even the commercial, even in the residential building also. Nowadays the building, there are skyscrapers are coming. Building's height is going more than 200 meter in Mumbai and metropolitan city. Any firefighting vehicle, which we call it as a hydraulic platform, can reach up to 100 meter level height. To that level only fire brigade can do the firefighting externally. Rest of the floors are depends on the what fire protection system they are having there. And if that system doesn't work or not maintained, so in case of an incident, their life or they are depend on the mercy of God. Because you can jump from the at the most second floor and can save your life. But after that, even you jump, nobody can save his life. So the life is depend on the what protection system we are having in our building or any premises. In industry, the norms are same, but they are monitored very closely and strict actions are taken, because normal functioning is also having lot of hazard, like process, the material they are handling. The lot of temperature is there in many processes. Even the one in Bhilai steel plant, we have the multiferous hazard. It's a multiferous hazardous industry. We had a gas pipeline in the plant which runs in the kilometer. 65 kilometers gas pipeline was there, having the flammable gas, poisonous gas, then conveyor belt, coal, power plants are there, cryogenic liquids are there. So multiferous hazards are there. So industry are maintaining it because it directly affects their business, their reputation, and the property and life losses. And there is guidelines as well as the monitoring authority, like the factory inspector, director of factory, they also taking the stringent action. So you can say it is maintained there little bit, but even anything goes wrong, we have to prepare for that. And that turns into the disaster. And we are discussing here today how we are prepared for those kind of disaster, even are having the things in their at their place. So industrial strategies as well as the urban strategies, you can say it's go hand in hand, because mostly the hazard is same, this combustible material, people are involved, and the infrastructure is almost same as far as the firefighting and to tackle those emergencies are concerned. But in a forest case or wild area, the life is the wildlife, and you are not having this kind of support system there. So I will touch that subject separately. Then strategic effectiveness, collaboration with the agencies. As I told, we have the State Fire Service, but what is the support you can get from the State Fire Service? As per the norms, we have the Standing Fire Advisory Council, which is the apex body under the Home Ministry of Government of India, which decide the norms and the guidelines for the fire service as well as the safety of the common people. As per the norms, the number of fire stations and the manpower, it is defined there. So it says there should be the one fire station in every 10 kilometer area in urban area, and for every 50 square kilometer area in rural area, there should be the one fire station. And response time should be 5 minutes for the urban area and not more than 20 minutes for the rural area. Based on that requirement or the norms, there is 85% shortfall in our country. If we say the number of stations, and that cannot be achieved even a single go. We have decided that 5 minutes time, but in foreign countries, they decide that response time based on how much that person is having the time with him to save his life. It depends upon where he can get stuck into. So it is not only 5 minutes are sufficient for all. This is not the ad stick. So that person should get the help only within that time, which time he is having for the survival, based on the hazards in that area, based on the functioning of that area. So based on that, they are deciding it. But in India, we have decided 5 minutes response time for the urban area. So it cannot be achieved in a single go. So what the phases wise we suggested, and we are working on that at least we should have one fire station at every sub-district or taluka place. So if it look into that statistics, 45% fulfillment is there on an average at country level. 8 to 10 states have achieved the 100% saturation in that. It means like UP, they are having the 35 district and 350 subdivisions. So they are having the 350 fire station in the UP. In Karnataka, you must be curious about, there are 32 districts and 240 subdivisions. So there are 213 fire stations. So 86% is fulfilling in Karnataka. So I said more than 80% are only 8 to 10 states our country. But rest of the states are not even having the 25% fulfillment with these requirements. So ultimately you are depend on the services which will save you in case of emergency, in case of disaster. So while discussing on the disaster management, the infrastructure, the support we are having, backup we are having, irrespective of the anywhere you are staying or working, because this is the national, international conference, and there is a representation from every state here. So you can see this thing in your area, how much time you will get for the further help, whether it is available or not. It may not be available even. So with that you have to be prepared for any disaster in case of fire. As now coming to this forest area, 54% of the fires have experienced in the many forests, but these are not of the serious nature. Only 7.49% of fire are little bit catastrophic, serious nature, but 2.4% of the area has experienced the catastrophic fire which has damaged the wildlife or the property like anything. And the interface which I am talking about, that is the urban area and the wild area, forest area. Because of in LA, Los Angeles, the fire happened. And what happened after that fire, even the Bollywood star, they lost their houses in that. Similar condition can happen in our country also, because we are entering the forest. We are staying there. Many people are staying there, and if their houses are not fireproof, that will burn into the fire, or if they initiated the fire, forest can burn into the fire. So vice versa, it is true because of the interference. Similar thing in the industry and the urban area also. There is a zoning. Process industry, production industry, storage should be in a separate zone. But if it is a mixed kind of occupancy, it will have the threat to the other occupants and the other people living in that area. For fire, when I say it's an incident, and it is not required in urban area or the industrial area. But fire incident do required in the wild for the obvious reason. Regeneration of the ecosystem and the some, I am just going hurriedly now. When we are talking about the forest area, so we have to see the highly valued resource asset. With that only you can do the assessment and focus on that area. Where in forest you will find the human communities and mineral resources, that is valuable area in that area. This is importance of wildfire. As I told you, some fires are required in the wild area to maintain the ecosystem. This is the wildlife management model. These are some mapping. I can just give what I would like to give the glimpses. This is how we can manage the disaster, having the awareness, having the public campaigning.
Excuse me, sir. So you can take some 5 more minutes because the fourth speaker is not here.
Okay.
And we have enough time. And we will have question after each session. Okay. Because lunch will be at 12:30. We have enough time, more than 1 hour we have.
Okay, thank you.
Each speaker will have 25 minutes and we will have 5 minutes question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity and this privilege. And see, as it's a area forest fire where we are not having any fixed firefighting kind of installation, where natural fire do occurs which required to maintain the ecosystem. But even then we have the SOP to prevent the disaster situations. So for that, forest fire disaster management and the response to that small incident, so that it should not convert into the serious fire. So these practices are there. So these are some glimpses or the photographs you can say which has taken by the NASA. These images shows the fires in our country burning. So SOPs, these are under preparation, and we will take all stakeholders input for this purpose. For which fire we can call it as a small fire, and then the large fire. Based on that there is a green alert, yellow alert and red alert. When the step by step, the agencies are come into the picture. Initially it is handled by the forest department, then local fire authority, then NDRF, then SDRF. Likewise, the setup is available in our country, and we are tackling the fires to avoid any disaster. But what about the industry and the urban area? You just imagine if you are staying in any apartment, what the condition of fire protection system is there. There are two kind of protection system. One is active protection system, another is passive fire protection system. Active means which doesn't take actively part in the firefighting, like fire doors, fire wall, or ceiling material, which will not take the active participation in the firefighting, but it will prevent the fire to spread. It confine the fire. That is called passive fire protection system. This is required everywhere as per the norms, and people are hardly aware about that. Second is the active fire protection system, like sprinkler system, spray system, from which some extinguishing media get expelled in case of fire, and it actively take part into the firefighting. Even the extinguishers and the fixed firefighting also comes in that category. Detection systems are there. Detection system only detect the fire. In many cases, when you see even the investigation report, you will find some recommendations. FDA system was not there. It was not working, and extinguisher was empty. So this kind of preliminary information comes. But having the FDA system, FDA means fire detection and alarm system, it is only give the alarm. It will not extinguish the fire. So by installing the FDA system will not suffice the purpose unless and otherwise it is clubbed with the suppression system. Suppression system means it should be clubbed with the sprinkler system. If this fire can be extinguished with the water, it can be clubbed with the foam system. If it is a class B kind of fire, it can be clubbed with the clean agent system or gas based system if you cannot use the water on that material, or it can be clubbed with the dry chemical powder system. So knowing the detection system also is a very vast topic. Just I am giving some glimpses or some information regarding that. There are different types of detectors. Just not keeping the one detector will not suffice the purpose. you have to analyze whether the heat will be generated first, or in most of the cases smoke get generated. So smoke detectors are very common, but one very common problem with the smoke detector is it gives the small false alarm. And what happens when there was no fire? It's not a fire condition, it gives the alarm. So everybody respond to that, not even the occupier, but at least security or the fire staff respond to that, and they find there is no fire. So what they do after that, they normally keep that system off condition. So it will not work. So now the detection systems are available which can reduce the false alarm, like there is a mechanism called the alarm verification. Detector itself verifies the alarm. It will not respond to the first signal. It will wait for the next 10 seconds to get the another signal. If another signal comes, then it will give the alarm. So that verification is there. There is the multi-sensor detectors which can detect the heat and smoke simultaneously. There is an aspirating time detector which do the sampling from that area, filter the sample, and so that dust will not give the false alarm. So this is how the detection system looks. This is passive system, fire resistance coating, firewall. This will help this gives you the time for the evacuation. This is the ceiling. This is all passive protection system. And when we say the active fire protection system, these are the systems available. Our job is to see whether the system are working or not. When we book the flat, we look into whether it is as per the Vastu Shastra or not. How much it will be helpful, it's depend on your faith. But if it is not having the required fire protection system, so if there is a fire, you will not able to even come down to the safer place or evacuate from your home. Builder is interested to get the NOC at the time of possession. And as an occupant, you are interested, or people are interested to see the quality of material he is providing. That too, quality related to the toiletries, door, tiles, fitting, Jaguar or some other Lotto or best company. Hardly anybody asks what kind of detectors he is providing, what is the company or what is the make of that, whether it is workable or not, and he is taking the advantage of that. So unless and otherwise we have that kind of awareness, this thing will not going to happen, and incidents will be continue, and it will come into the disaster. So my request is that, and I am expecting from this August gathering at least, when you come across this kind of situation, either it is your residential building, your own house, or your business complex, you just see whether the system is adequate or not, whether the system is working or not. If it workable, then only it will suffice your purpose and it can save the life. So these are some glimpses of the system. Different systems are there for the different occupancies. This is the clean agent system, which is normally provided for the server rooms or the computer room where the water is not suitable, which can damage the equipment. This is a sprinkler system. So this is a very big area. Just I am giving the glimpses what is available right now, and with this only we can prevent the disaster. Otherwise, the small fire we can extinguish. But if the system is not workable, so that building or that occupancy or the industry will be on the fire till the fire brigade comes. And you know what is the support we are having in our country right now. Only 45%, 55%, 51% is the shortfall, and it varies in state wise. So if these systems are workable, see the industrial environment. This is conveyor belt fire. I attended so many fire. This is a conveyor belt fire. Again, the spray systems are available for that purpose. Gallery. This is very challenging. You will find the galleries in kilometers in the industrial area. We call it as a IPCT, interplant cable tunnels. There are cable galleries, cable tunnels, cable trenches, and cable vaults. These all are different things. Transfer fire is common again in the industries as well as the urban areas. In summer season, because of the uses and all, it catches the fire. The system is there. Spray system is provided for that. It has to be workable.
Excuse me,
in the kitchen also. This is last slide.
Could you please? Yes.
Yeah. This is a kitchen fire for the commercial kitchen or the big kitchen. This systems is available right now. Industrial fire, you can see this. Spray system, lot of technology is coming. And so lastly, this is the last slide. So accident do happens, but we have to learn the lesson from the previous incident, and prevention is our focus should be on, emphasis should be on the prevention, because fighting the fire is a costly affair and you never know when it can come to the disaster. Thank you.